Hello, my name is Ethan, and I'm in my apartment in Tokyo, and I am doing a update video from my AJATT journey so far. I've only been doing it about a month, but I'm making this video more as a diary for myself, not really for any advice or any guidance, just for myself to look back on, maybe see how I was feeling before. So before now, I was studying Japanese for, I guess, about a year and a half. I can't really say it was 2 years. I came to Japan about 2 years ago. Um, and I've been living in Tokyo for 2 years, but I started studying maybe the winter of that year. I started studying for the JLPT. Uh, just it was basic stuff. It was just studying vocabulary, studying verbs, studying grammar, just doing the Mananki over and over again until eventually I could understand like basic sentences and things like that. Yeah, and then I took the JLPT after maybe 6 months, and then I passed the N3 test. So that was maybe last summer. After that, uh, that seemed to be working. I mean, I passed the test, so I just kept studying, aiming for like N2 this year. But maybe after doing that for a while, I mean, just grinding through vocab and Anki and grammar points, I kind of felt like this wasn't working out the way I wanted to. I just knew vocab in isolation and grammar points in isolation, but I didn't really reading books and follow TV shows as well as I was hoping it would go. I knew I wouldn't be 100% yet, but it really did seem like it was a totally different world between the textbook world and the real world. So uh, after that, I started just watching TV a lot, listening to podcasts, and maybe watching, TV shows on Netflix and watching anime and trying to follow them, but it was really random. It was just whatever happened to be there, I would watch it and try and listen to it. But it wasn't any structured plan. It was not no structure to it at all, and it wasn't really enough. I was listening like one show a day or two shows a day, and try to listen to one podcast a day, but it wasn't very much, and it was totally random. I wouldn't review any of it, so it would kind of go in one ear and out the other mostly. Um, and then maybe 2 months ago, I came across Matt's videos, and they made a lot of sense. They kind of explained everything that I was fearing before, that you can't kind of grind your way to fluency, really. Um, that you have to just input enough native material, and eventually your brain will differentiate between what's right and what's wrong. And you'll sound much more native because it's actual native materials. Um, so that was 2 months ago, and then that month I was traveling a lot. I went to like Kyoto and Osaka, and my mother came to Japan, so it wasn't a good time to start immersing. So I just kind of read the AJATT table of contents and read some of Anti-Moon and watched all of Matt's videos and tried to like educate myself about what I should be doing. Um, and then maybe 1 month ago, here in Japan, it was Golden Week, so I just started then. I watched all of Terrace House, the new series, maybe in like 2 days, like maybe 20 episodes in 2 days. I watched Cowboy Bebop. I watched Kokaku Kidotai. I watched just whatever was interesting, and I also like have started like recording the sound for it too. So I will watch a series, and then like the week after I'll like listen to the audio again, and it's like much better. At the start, even watching something like Toradora, I was like getting lost easily, and then I would listen to the audio maybe 1 week later, and then I'd watch something different, and then I'd be interested because I hadn't caught everything. Like I couldn't understand all of it, so I'd watch it again, and it was like, oh, my listening had increased so much. I could pick out so many obvious sentences. Not that I was listening to them in the recording and then listening to it again and being like, oh, I heard the same sentence twice. It was like genuinely like, that is an easy sentence and it's like sticking out. I can like totally understand it without trying because my ears have just gotten better at picking out words and picking out sentences without my brain consciously trying to dissect it. So yeah, my listening got much better. At the start, maybe a month ago, I think I made a mistake where I was trying to read as well. So I was trying to read comic books or easy books and like play Pokemon, Ultra Moon, but I could feel myself kind of vocalizing the words in my head, but it was guesswork. It wasn't correct. So I stopped that because I think it's a bad habit, and I was probably picking up bad habits, making bad habits by doing that. So after the first week, I stopped reading totally. And at the time, I had like subtitles on some of the things I was watching, so I just turned all those off and would just like listen, maybe active listening, maybe like 3 hours a day, and then passive listening, like 5 hours a day. I'd go to the gym for like 2 hours, just listen to whatever I'd watched the week before, walking to work, walking, doing shopping or cleaning or something, just passive listening. I've got these Soundpeak Bluetooth headphones. They're really, really good. You can just pop them in and just connect them to your phone or whatever device, and you can just walk around. You don't have leads hanging. It's really, really good. You don't feel like you've got headphones in so much. So I've been doing that for like a month, and yeah, my listening got much, much better. Like I couldn't, like before, I could not follow a TV show easily at all. It was too much like I would hear a sentence, I would hear all the words, my brain would try and like, separate the words, understand the meaning. It's like by the time you're doing that, it's like 4 or 5 sentences later, and you've missed so much more. But now it's not like that at all. It's like either I understand it and it's really obvious, or forget about it and you don't know it, so don't worry about it. But yeah, but comprehension is much better for listening. Even nowadays, I live in Tokyo, so people are always talking Japanese around me, speaking in Japanese, I mean, and like my ability to pick up what they're saying is like increased so much. It's so strange. Words I knew I could not pick up at all. I could not sentences I knew I could not pick up at all, and like now it's so much easier to pick them up. So that's been really good. And doing RTK, yeah, I just been doing like 20 a day, and that's been good. I've got like 700 done now, over 700, and my retention rate's really high. There's only small mistakes I make. Some of the kanji, there's like one stroke that's like elongated as it's not usually elongated, or like the not the particle, what's the word I'm looking for? The primitive for water or something will not like go the full length. It'll go like half the length, something like that. I'll mix up sometimes, and I'll have to like rewrite the story, but other than that, it's like a really high retention rate, which is like great. And like now when I see those kanji everywhere, even words I used to know, I couldn't see the parts of the kanji so clearly. It was the general shape, it was like a vague shape, and now it's like very, very clear. And so that's been working out really well. But until I finish RTK, I'm not going to do any reading. I'm not going to actively read anything because yeah, I was just kind of vocalizing things and using guesswork, and it was obviously wrong. I don't have enough. My listening comprehension is not high enough where I can accurately guess what these words are actually pronounced like, so it's pointless to try and read them. It's just wasting my time and probably making bad habits. So maybe that's it. Yeah, I've just been watching Netflix a lot, watching shows I'm interested in, uh, not worrying about sentences, not worrying about understanding sentences, just understanding the sentences I know. And if there's some sentences where it is really I plus one, and it you from the context I know exactly what the word means. It's like you know the whole sentence, you've heard this word, and like you can see the scene, and it's like, oh, it definitely means this, and then you just look it up in the dictionary and it's like I know what it means, and it's like I know that word now, and I don't have any Yankee cards for it. So yeah, just listening a lot just makes a huge difference, a really huge difference. And yeah, I guess that's really it. Just gonna keep doing that, keep watching Netflix, keep listening, and keep doing RTK, and hopefully find a few more interesting shows. Like right now, I'm watching like Devilman Crybaby, and it's the craziest animation I think I've ever seen. but it's really, really interesting. So hopefully I can keep finding interesting things to watch. And yeah, I'll try and make another video next month and see what's changed. Okay, thanks.